Clarimar Diaz Lopez on one of my prior YouTube clips asks, so I have a problem. I'm still in year 2, preparing for comp that my school requires before dedicated time for STEP. I have 700 questions left in UWorld, meaning by the time I get to my dedicated Step 1 period, I will have finished all of the UWorld questions. What should I do? Okay, so before we get started, please subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Help grow this channel. Share with one of your friends prepping for USMLE. Help bring awareness to this channel. Hit the like button. Hit the bell if you want notifications. Find me on Instagram, Mehlman_medical, MEHLMAN_medical. Link is down below. And find me on Telegram. Recently created a Telegram group and channel. The links are down below. Now let me address the fucking question from Clarimar Diaz Lopez about how she's still in year 2. She's preparing for comp that her school requires before the STEP. She has 700 questions left in UWorld. And she's wondering about, by the time she gets to her dedicated for Step 1, she will have finished all of the UWorld questions. OMG, so what should she do? Look, I've talked about in some of my prior clips how in the final couple of months before your USMLE, you're going to want to memorize all the NBME questions. Now, immediately, she and some other students might say, no, I'm talking about my comp, though. I'm not talking about USMLE. And this is where it becomes an interesting balance. So this is a very good question. I have not addressed this specifically yet. The answer is, if the student is absolutely struggling to pass, okay? I have had various students where they struggle to just pass 160s, 170s, 180s on their practice assessments. They might sit one NBME, or they may have sat the comp already one or more times, and they're nowhere near passing, and their knowledge base is fairly weak despite having gone through UWorld, okay? So if the student is really struggling just to get to the pass level, I will have the student go through NBMEs 20 through 30 and prepare for the comp exactly like he or she is going to sit the Step 1, okay? Now, what this does is allows the student to pass the comp. I have had students shoot up, literally, where they cannot pass no matter what, over half year, year plus, and they will go from the 160s, 180s, up to the 2 teens, 220s, sometimes 230s, okay? So it really depends on the student, but this is also an objective reason why memorizing NBMEs 20 through 30 are so substantial. It's so paramount doing this in terms of augmenting your Step 1 score late, because you prepare for the comp the exact same way that you prepare for the Step 1. The reason if a student is doing well, generally, the foundation isn't so weak, I might have the student hold off on some of the NBME exams until after their comp so that they can save them for before the Step 1. I might have a student do that if their foundation is not as weak, but once again, if the student cannot pass the comp no matter what, we will have you memorize the NBMEs prior to your comp, you pass the comp, and then you say, well, now what? Like, I've got about 8 weeks or so until I sit my Step 1. The answer is you are literally going to go back through the NBME questions again. You can go back to UWorld. We could have you do incorrects as a possibility. Okay, it's never cookie cutter for every student. We could have you use some of USMLE RX. Okay, the questions are very simplified. We can have you blast through some of those questions simultaneous to also reviewing the NBME material. And we can occasionally contemplate doing NBMEs 19 and earlier. Okay, it requires me, in order to come up with the best plan for you, it requires me actually sitting down with you over Skype and chatting about these things, okay? I cannot give umbrella diagnostic regimens, what's perfect for you, when there's lots of students watching this, and I need to know more about your background, etc. But just a point you can take home in recapitulation is, if your foundation is really fucking weak, I want you going through all of the NBME exams prior to your comp so that you can pass comp. And then after comp, you're going to be going through those questions again with some UWorld incorrects that you can review, okay? Or USMLE RX. This can be an extended discussion. I know you guys do not want a 52-minute clip, okay? So obviously, drop comments if you have questions. You know the deal. I'm gonna continue making more content. If you like my stuff, subscribe to my channel. And I appreciate your time. That's it.